we start a program called Our Healing Choices. Happens every week, Tuesday night, around 6 o'clock Pacific. Sometimes we get going a little late after a little bit of a check-in with everyone. And we just simply talk about a different health or wellness topic each week. We share what we know, or kick back and listen and learn some stuff we might not know. And so yeah, the floor is yours. We're sharing that. I'm just kind of a co-facilitator, more like a moderator for the program. Without further ado, we've got week 127. Our topic tonight is productivity hacks. You guys might have heard of life hacks. This is productivity hacks. Potential talking points. I've got what paper or digital tools do we use to stay organized? How do we use them? What system or systems have we tried that didn't work out, and why? What system or systems do we have in place to hold to our word, like a calendar or whatnot? What do we use to manage tasks and get things done? How do we track or manage or basically accomplish our goals? Do we write them? How does that go down? And last but not least, and there's probably a lot more, and that is productive daily routines. So the floor is yours when you have something to share.
Wow. Well, I have a couple things on my phone. One's called a calendar. One is called an alarm. Pretty easy to use, but I don't know. I don't think a lot of people implement these things. Maybe people wouldn't be so flaky if they did. But then again, maybe it matters not anyway to hold to their word. So whether or not they said it, it's probably irrelevant. But yes, I like to use calendar. Occasionally I use memo, but just about everything goes on calendar. I set reminders. Remind me the day before, about 18 hours or so. And then also 2 or 3 hours prior to whatever I need to do. And then for alarm, of course, to wake up, but it's also there for medicine. Yep. Don't ever have to remember to take that pill and end up taking it late, going, darn, I forgot. You just set a daily thing. You know, maybe you take it twice a day, set it for 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. And it'll always go off, and you'll always take it on time, and you won't suffer the consequences of taking it late.
Nice. This reminds me of another program we had a while back, similar to this, where we were sharing our tools. I was reminded of that because it sounds familiar. The 3 hours before, alarm and stuff. I do something similar as well. Although my I don't know why, but I don't use my calendar quite as effectively as I could. I definitely could use some tips on that. I don't know. My main thing is setting up a snooze for calendar items, and for some reason the apps that I've used never really quite have worked for that, and it's kind of annoying. I like to be reminded of an event prior, but then I want to be able to snooze. Like, let's say I got the 3 hour snooze. I want to be able to snooze like every half hour, or I don't know. I get an alarm in the morning or a calendar item in the morning. I don't know, just to remind me to stay focused on a certain topic for the day. I just want to be able to kind of snooze that every couple hours throughout the day, just to kind of keep it in the forefront of things during the day. And I'm not too good at it. I've just not dialed it in perfectly. I'm close, maybe, but not quite. So getting there. Work in progress.
Well, yes, Andrew, answer to your question. You did hear that before. We had a topic, I don't know. A lot of times these things will overlap at least a little. So yeah, I shared that before.
I remember one of the outcomes of that program is how someone, it was ironic, like someone said that they used post-it notes still. And I remember kind of in a way of like a little bit judging them, like, really? You haven't gotten into the digital age yet? Um, and I don't know if we had discussed it at all, but like not everybody knows how to use the digital tools to do the same thing you would do on paper. And then I realized recently how important it is to have post-it notes that constantly remind you in places where you might see them, like the bathroom window or the door as you leave the house, or the coffee machine when you make a coffee every morning, to remind you of important things that you need to get done. The fact that you see them often is how they get done. So it's kind of an irony is at that time I literally was like, really? Almost was like, really? You still use post-it notes? But now, literally, I'm straight up like, I'm a proponent of post-it notes again, or any kind of note that you would put where you would see it often.
How's everybody in Ring of Fire?
Hello there. And yeah, when you brought that up, I was thinking, like, what is? Yeah, it's old school, but there's still nothing wrong with it. It's not like your phone's going to be telling you stuff all the time or popping up on the screen. So yeah, sticking something on your fridge, your bathroom mirror, whatever, your windshield, whatever it takes, that's okay. If it works, that's what matters. So yeah, I mean, it could be a to-do list or a shopping list. Not everybody wants to put their shopping list in the phone. You always have to, and we got to remember these things to take battery power, and your phone may not always have battery power. Say you've been running around all day, you got to the market and you're like, great, now I'm going to go shopping. Let's see what my list is. Oh, I'm at 2%. Darn. You pull that paper out of your pocket, it's not going to die on you. You got your shopping list right there, right?
Yeah, true that. That is such a good point. Also the phone, I was thinking the phone only works, it only shows you something when it's on. I mean, some of the newer phones have this thing which shows you like the time all the time, like low power, it shows you the time and maybe some calendar items or something. But come on, really? It's not going to show you a post-it note per se, and just every time you hold it or pick it up, it's showing you that post-it note. I mean, hopefully they'll get to that point, but that would be nice. Every time, imagine every time you picked up your phone, you see the post-it item, would be pretty cool. If it was one or two, it'd be kind of cool if you could slide and see two or three, real quick before you even turn on your phone.
Well, maybe one day we'll have like images, screens connected to our retinas, little chip in our brain, and we'll have little post-it note looking things popping up in our vision. And until we blink them or think them away, because we've accomplished them, they will keep popping up. We'll have like a battery that never dies. And all you gotta do is go to sleep. You're within 5 feet of the charging source and you're good to go for the next day, all day long. Right? You want to have a phone glued in your hand, hoping for a pop-up message.
It's a little up in the air right now, technologically. I really think smartphone is kind of what is it, oxymoron? Because it's kind of moronic. It's not really that smart. You have to actually make it smart, and sometimes it takes some work. It really does. Like if you want to make your phone actually smart, you got to work at it, you know. And that's one of the things we can get into a little bit tonight. So again, you guys, if you have anything to share, even if you're not quite sure if it's really that productive, just share it. You never know. Someone might be like, oh wow, I never thought of it that way. So if you're just listening in and you have anything to share, you don't have to like necessarily jump into the conversation. You might just share something. So it's all good. So let's see. What paper or digital tools do we use to stay organized, and how do we use them? Maybe let's just start there. Just one at a time. Think of something that you use and how you use it. I will share one that I recently did that already is starting to help. And that is literally printing out some affirmations or things that I want to be mindful of, like every day, many times a day, to stay, just something that I would want to stay like forefront, you know, like, and that's just print it out on a label maker and stick it on the side mirrors of my car. I literally have like labels on the lower edge of the side mirrors of my car, and even the lower edge of the rear view mirror to look out the back. Seeing as I can't even look out the back anyway, I've got a sign there, a scrolling sign in the back window. I can't even see out the back anyway, so I literally could probably chalk that whole mirror up with labels if I wanted to. I'm kind of limiting it right now, but it seems to be working really well. So that's a productivity hack, I guess, because it helps me stay focused on what's important. One of them says, what's essential right now? Meaning like right now, what's the most essential part of whatever I'm doing? The other one says, nothing happens, or no, I'm sorry, nothing changes if nothing changes. And the other one says, I have to, but it's crossed out and it says I get to, with an exclamation point. So far I've got 3 that could change, but it's just stuff I want to be aware of every day. All right, we talked about Post-it notes. What about apps? And you guys use any special or custom apps on your phone for productivity? All right, if we have any untrusted users, if you'd like to be part of the conversation, um, share your voice, speak your mind. Nobody can hear you, only the moderators. So if you mic up and first check the logo below the Z in the upper left corner, you can read the rules and just mic back up. Let one of the moderators know you've read them, or read off one of them or a couple of them, and we'd be happy to let you in. For anyone who has showed up late, we are talking about productivity hacks. So if you have any thoughts on that, anything that you do to be more productive, this is a place to share it. You get to brag about what works for you. Not too many places you're going to be asked to brag, and that's a good thing. But tonight in this program, usually this is the place.
Hi, I'm sorry. I got called up away for a little app support. Yeah. Anyway, we got a slow start today here. Sorry to leave you abandoned. I know nobody else is participating, and I feel especially bad about leaving then. Where is everybody? You guys voted for this topic, right? Anyway, hello to you all. And I'm sorry, I don't know what I missed, but let me think. Productivity. What do I do? Here's something: is don't fill up your gas tank halfway or something. Fill it up all the way. That's one less stop you'll have to make. That'll save some time. That sounds simple, but it's the only thing that came to mind just now. The same thing can go with a lot of things. You want to save a little time, shave off some time, make best use of your time. You could try to, if you're out and about, you just try to route your little things and the least distance traveled and try to get things done before you head back home so you don't have to head out again. And hit all those spots, try to get as much stuff done, least amount of places, rather than going to 3 supermarkets, just go to 1 or 2. Of course, if you're a bargain shopper, you'd be like, the hell you say? I'm going to all 4 markets because I can get brisket over here cheap, peaches over here cheap, milk cheap over here, and they've got a special sale on avocados over here. So if that's the case, I understand. All right. Enjoy your cheap brisket.
Nice. Definitely pays to batch your travel, basically. Very good use of time. You don't want to keep going back and forth, leaving the house, coming back, leaving the house, coming back, just because you forgot something. Wait until you made a list of some sort and then go, especially if it's further out. Here's one. I'm going to read from this. This is a pretty big meme, inspirational meme. I forget. There's another word for it. I'm just forgetting it right now. It says how to be productive in the areas of tech, of clothes, of hacks, of body, of schedule, of food, and of mind. And I'm just going to start with mind because it seems the most interesting and it seems a little longer until we can get some more people involved in the conversation. This one says, the first one says the 80-20, which is the 80-20 rule, if you guys have ever heard of this. It says, notice the 80-20 rule. Which 20% of work produces 80% of the results? So this is basically thinking essential. What's the essential in life? Next is focus on the important. Suppress the urgent. So there's so much urgent, especially from other people, that they press upon us. This is urgent, this is urgent. No, 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 it's not. It's not important. It may be urgent, but it's not important, especially to you. So sometimes you have to be selective and say no. The next is decide the outcome before even starting. So basically planning, that's an important one. Start idea dump, quote, idea dump. Book for genius ideas you can't work on now. So yeah, a book, a list of awesome ideas that you can't get to right now. Just something you can write on that you always have with you. Next one is eliminate trivial decisions like what to wear. Learn to ignore. No need to respond to everything, which is important. Say no. Let's see. Do a bad first draft. You can't edit a blank page. So in other words, just get shit out of your head. Get it on paper. Better than just not starting. Progress. Progress is important. Okay, so the next one says treat time. The next one, last one for the mind category, says treat time as your money. Oh, that's a good one. Think of it as every hour you waste is money you waste, essentially.
Yeah, just a tip, Andrew. So, a couple reasons. Like key down sooner. One, your transmissions will be shorter. Also, by doing that, you allow others to interject on what you've said. You know, a couple memes and let them key up. Also allows interested users to key up sooner. Can keep the dialogue going, less of a monologue. Your transmissions get a little winded sometimes. Just a tip. Anyway, if anyone would like to be trusted in the channel, please let us know you've read the rules and you'll follow them. Yeah, an addendum to what I was saying earlier about the shopping is one thing you can do, like let's say you do have multiple markets to go to. You're worried about food getting warm in your car, you know, especially during, excuse me, these hot months. Excuse me, fucking throat. So you don't have to make that trip back home to get your milk and ice cream away. Of course, you should get your ice cream last, the last store, by the way. But I don't know if anybody uses these reusable bags when they go shopping, but it's a good idea to keep them in your car so you don't have to forget and leave them at home, which I've heard people say they do. But there are these shopping bags that are insulated and they have a zipper, and these will keep your foods cold longer. And you could, in fact, if you could remember, bring an ice block or two to put in there, and your milk will be just as cold as when you bought it, pretty much, or whatever you keep cold when you bring it home.
That's a great tip for sure. I use those for my job. I do food delivery on the side as well. So yeah, but I can't imagine if you had a nice ice block in there. That'd be great. You could definitely chill stuff for a lot longer. Yeah, what I just read off was literally just a section of a inspirational meme or a infographic, I think they call them. Just one part of it. Pretty crazy. This one's elaborate. Yeah. Any other thoughts? By the way, guys, we're talking about productivity hacks. So if you have any thoughts on things that you do that help you be more productive, feel free to share.
Come back to the open channel, Andrew. Yeah, for those in the open channel don't know, Andrew was talking to you guys, but he was talking in the wrong place, only to an interested user. So waiting for him to come back out here so we can all hear him.
I was actually going to talk to one of the untrusted to say that we can't hear them. Anyway, I figured you'd jump on that, but it's all good. Hopefully they'll mic up again. Or maybe you could check, I think it was Mini Major was the untrusted user. Anyway, okay, so yeah, we had how to be productive infographic. It just shows food. One of the food hacks is routinize your diet. Get it kind of dialed in where you have similar stuff every day or every week. That's good. Eat healthy food, of course, would be helpful to when you routinize your diet. And then another suggestion was get delivery to save time. And then last one, negotiate a daily, I'm looking, it's kind of tiny, a daily deal with your trusted cafe to save money, I guess.
Nice, good tips there. Yeah, someone wants to say hi. Yes, that's the ROF kitty. She's giving you guys kisses, rubbing her face on the phone. Yeah, anyway, gosh, yeah, I'm gonna have to go, and I hate to leave you stranded here alone, cruising this vessel solo.
I'm definitely not attached. I've cruised this vessel solo before, and I don't really expect solo. So we'll see. It'll be what it'll be.
Oh yeah, I'm sure within a short time someone else will be here to participate.
Okay, I'll go into this next one, the schedule. From the How to Be Productive infographic thing here, it says the first one is do easiest things first, then prioritize one item per day. So like one item that you need to get done per day. I've heard 2 to 3 priorities, but one would be great. That's 365 things you get done in a year, important things. Next one is set a daily routine, which is hugely important, I think. No meetings unless they are decisive, like you're going to actually get something done. It's going to be a solution of some sort. And then the last one is better done than perfect. That's really important. It's just do it. Don't strive for perfection. Nobody's perfect. Nothing will ever be perfect. Just get it done. So guys, the topic of the night, we have productivity hacks. Just going over some right now from an infographic here, but hey, feel free to share if anything comes to mind that works in your life, that helps you be more productive. This is the time to share. All right, the next hack from this infographic here is body hack. It says one of them is manage anxiety by running, swimming, dancing as examples. It says sleep more, you will get more done. Totally agree. Also that you should do your most important work in the morning, aka not the work you do for work. Last one is take naps when energy runs low. So like an evening nap would actually be a good thing, especially if you didn't get your stuff done in the morning before work.
Indeed. All right, well, I'm going to step out and, yep, take care, Andrew. Anyone else who's listening?
Yes, enjoy your evening. I will get you later, if not later tonight, next week, or hopefully sometime in between. Have a good night. Sure. Thanks for stopping by.
My pleasure. Bye, Andrew.
All right, this is one that's simply just hacks, general hacks, I guess. One of them is visualize your end product. Next is start before you feel ready. Avoid chicken and egg. Next is assume you are right. When in doubt, decisive is productive. Just be decisive. Commit, basically. It's good. If you have a mind block, make a mind map. It's an interesting one. Next is if you can't write it down, record it. A lot of these smartphones have recorders built in. You can get it as an app. I think some of them just come with it built in. Last one is when you read something helpful, write to the author. Pretty cool. Anyone have any thoughts on what I've read so far? All right, how to be productive in regards to clothing. First is define your fashion uniform. Wear it daily. I don't exactly know what that means, but okay. The next is wear smart fabrics. Okay. Next is carry an all occasion outfit with you. Let's say in your car or something. Okay. And lastly, it's discard what you stop using. I've got like half a closet I could probably discard right now. I'm sure y'all do. Maybe give it to Goodwill or something. All right, how to be productive in regards to tech. First one says, limit email replies to 1 per minute. I don't exactly know much about that because I never have that much email to reply to. Nice. Next is, if you can't understand what an email asks, don't answer. Just let it go. Next one is tune out the news. Nothing important happens most of the time. It's a really important one right there. Most news is negative anyway, so it's probably a good hack. Next is, do not answer the phone unless it's emergency. And in parentheses, it shows emergencies are rare. You don't really need to answer your phone. It's usually an interruption, unless you're completely free and you have time to talk. Makes sense? The last one is use keyboard shortcuts. It's kind of cool. Most people don't know that, so good stuff.
What's up, Ring of Fire? I ain't been on here all day. How y'all doing?
What's up, Jacob? How you doing, brother? Yeah, we're just kind of rolling into this. A little bit of a slow start about productivity hacks. It's a program we do here every Tuesday night. So if you have any thoughts on what you do to make your life go easier and be more productive, then yeah, I mean, share something.
Okay, I have wood, since you were bringing that up. I have at least one job a day, which is to make at least one person smile a day. Whenever I make one person smile, I make, like, it just makes me feel really happy about myself.
That's a pretty important productive hack. You know, I mean, I wouldn't say it's gonna make your have you get more stuff done, but you never know. If someone smiles, they might be more willing to help you after you have a conversation with them. Maybe it might become a friend. It might help you move or whatever it might be. So that's all good. Here's an inspirational meme that I found. It says, "Work smarter, not harder," and that's all about why we do these productivity hacks. Is how do we work smarter when it comes to productivity? So I'm curious, Jacob, if you're still here, do you use Post-it notes to get stuff done, or have you found a way to use your phone to do that better?
I have a phone.
All right, I just stumbled on this really awesome app called Time Tune, and to give you a kind of a basic rundown, is it's the idea of blocking, setting aside certain chunks of time for you to do certain things that are important to you. So I don't know if you have like a hobby, instead of never having time for your hobby, so to speak. Like your life is so busy, you don't even have time for the hobby, and you never end up doing it because you feel like you don't have time. It's setting an actual chunk of time that's dedicated for that hobby, even if it's just an hour a week or a couple hours a week. You just set up these time, I don't know, I think they could just call them focused time blocks or something. There's so many different words for it, but basically it's like this app that shows you all your time blocks for the day. So regardless of whether you have an appointment or not, that's a separate thing. It could be also in there if you throw it in, but it's mainly for stuff that happens every week, or every day for that matter. It's pretty efficient, and you can add the same hobby time chunk, let's say, and you could just, it's got the same name, hobby time, whatever you want to call it, but you can just plop it any day. So it's already been created. You can just put it down in any slot of any day of the week, and it just repeats. So it's based on 1 week. It's pretty cool. That's one very productive productivity hack that I've used so far. Pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm just kind of wondering, how do y'all stay productive? This program right now is, we're talking about productivity hacks. So how do you do it? Share what you know. Share what works. Like, for instance, how do you get shit done? Do you use Post-it notes? Do you use an app on your phone? Do you put stuff on a mirror in the bathroom? Do you, I don't know, scratch it on the back of your hand so you don't forget it? Like, how do you roll? All right, here's another infographic thing that I found the other day. This one's about how to focus. So, kind of like a productivity hack. So, I'll share this one. It says 95% of people say they struggle to focus. And there's just a couple tips here. I'm going to go through a couple and then stop and then go through a few more. The first one says keep food at your desk. It says glucose helps your brain focus. So always have some food at your desk. Next is turn off the phone. Most phone calls are not urgent. So I mentioned before that other one, if you were here for that. The next one is get a good chair. It says there is a reason bosses don't sit in cheap chairs. Next is time yourself and see how much you did in 1 hour. Hold on. These aren't really in order, I don't think, but next is make a list. Make it short. You don't need a long list. What's essential? Here's another one. Put on headphones. Classical music is, or no music, is best for focusing. Any thoughts on that? What music do you listen to focus? All right, the next one for how to focus, it says clear your desk completely. Next one is shut off everything that you are not really using. Points. Next one is if reward yourself. If you get focused, be proud of yourself. Give yourself a reward. Last is frame a picture of your goal. That's a really important one right there, is put a picture of your goal, of what you want to achieve, somewhere where you will see it. It says, and look at it every morning before work. It says every morning before work, but I say way more often than that. Put it somewhere where you're gonna see it more than once a day. If that's in front of the mirror in the bathroom, great. If that's in the kitchen on the refrigerator, that's great. If that's by the door when you leave the house, that's just as good. If it works for you, wherever you're gonna see it, whatever it is that you want to have happen in your life, more often, I think that's very positive. Bring your pet with you. They help you focus. Great. Sounds like a good one. And the last picture is of a guy who seems like he's got everything done. It's a little stick figure. Pretty funny. Okay, untrusted users. No one else can hear you if you mic up, other than the moderator. So if you want to be a participant in the channel and just jump into the Ring of Fire officially, go ahead and click on the Z in the upper left corner. Actually, the logo below the Z, the Ring of Fire logo, and then go ahead and read the description for the channel, the rules, and once you read the rules and you're willing to abide by them, just mic back up and let us know that you can. Maybe read off a few, and we'll be happy to let you in and get you into the mix here tonight if you like. Hi guys, we have a new user, Christina Sutton. Hi Christina, my name is Andrew from Los Angeles. Maybe just let us know where you're from. And by the way, welcome to the Ring of Fire. You'll like it here. You will like it here.
Thank you. I'm from Michigan.
All right, let's all give Christina a warm Ring of Fire welcome. Sorry, Christina, we got a lot of listeners right now. Not a whole lot of people have much to say about productivity, apparently. It's all good. Yeah, we're talking about productivity hacks, kind of like a life hack, if you've heard of that, but for productivity. Just sharing what we know and just kicking back and listening and learning stuff that we might not know about that. So welcome. It's a show we have every Tuesday night called Our Healing Choices. We have a different health or wellness topic each week, and this one happens to be productivity hacks. Yeah, if you have something to share, just share. Otherwise, kick back. And I have some things to share here. Found some infographics, but tentatively just kind of going through this until we have people who want to participate.
So it's pretty quiet. Your topic's quiet tonight, Andrew?
Sorry, Shannon, didn't hear you that well. Yeah, the topic is productivity hacks. And yeah, we got kind of a slow start today. And yeah, your volume is pretty low, it seems like. Somehow it's not, your voice isn't coming in too strong.
Yeah, I can't talk that loud. I said it's pretty quiet. I thought this topic would be really pretty happening.
Yeah, you would think, but you know what? You know how it is. Like most topics where it's somewhat kind of a private thing, like it's specific to a certain person, it's kind of personal, tend to be topics where people are afraid to share. And it's all good. Like I get that. A lot of people are afraid to speak, let alone share, their life, in a public place like this. So I get it. It's all good. It's everybody's prerogative whether they want to share or not. And I've done this enough time to know that it's all good. Heck, if you didn't want to share your own methods or ways, I mean, you could always get on the internet and share stuff that seems useful, or I don't know, maybe you've got a book or something that mentioned something that made sense to you and you want to share that. I mean, all that kind of, anything is good. It's just simply going over productivity hacks that work for us.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. What you say, some people want to listen and maybe share up their bit, and like last week's topic, it was really happening. I guess it just depends. But yeah, you're right. You can just share something that's not personal.
Yeah, like this infographic right here, it's just got a bunch of post-it notes stacked, and the top one just says simplify. And that's so important. Is like really, I mean, whatever you can do to simplify your life is going to be positive. It's going to reap some benefits.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to simplify things. Like right now, I'm in the hospital because my blood pressure went like through the roof yesterday. So I've been in here 2 days. So like simplify your life could be just cutting stress out, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, seriously, like simplifying would actually reduce stress. So, taking the time, setting setting even just a block of time every week to simplify could reduce stress, like overall through your week. A lot of times we get so caught up in what we're doing, and we do the same thing over and over against getting the same results. And then eventually, once in a while, we just got to stop, like put the brakes on, put the hand up and be like, no, hold on, wait, let's rethink this and see how we can make this easier, and see how I can make my life more productive to what I want or whatever it might be, versus what everyone expects of me or something. Just put the brakes on from time to time, I think would be pretty important.
I'm back, you guys.
It's true, Andrew. Sometimes we got to learn how to like relax, take time for ourselves, make our life productive, but we need that recreation time too.
Yeah, we really need to take time out to regroup, literally just regroup, focus on what's going on in my life right now. Do I want this? Do I want to change this? And we can get caught up for years doing the same thing and never stop for a moment to just check in and be like, do I really want to be doing this? Is this how I want my life to go? Is this how I want us? Is this, if we were to carry this out 20 years, do I want this to be my result, my outcome? And in most cases, I would say probably most people would say no. Like, I need to change it up. So I would suggest reserving a block of time each week where we just simply take like a couple hours to just think about our life and where is it going and what could we do differently. That would be pretty huge, because then you won't schedule shit over that. You won't schedule anybody's requests of you. You won't schedule your yoga class or whatever it might be over that. Anything, nothing will get in the way of that. And so you'll always have that time to rethink where your life is going. All right, for anyone who is an untrusted user coming into this conversation late, if you want to be a part of the conversation, you can click on just below the Z in the upper left corner. You'll see the Ring of Fire logo. Click on that. Read the rules and mic up to one of the moderators here, since the rest of us can't hear you. Just mic up to one of the moderators and let us know a couple of the rules that you've read and that you're willing to abide by them, and we'd be happy to get you in here for the conversation, or just get you into the Ring of Fire. It's a great place to be. All right, I'll go ahead and share this this other infographic thing that I found. This is the last one that I have to share, and then maybe I'll go into a little bit more detail on how I try to be productive. I am no professional by any means. I am not perfect by any means, but I have some tips that maybe you guys could benefit from. So this one says the road to ultimate productivity, and it has 4 different sections. Basically, I'll read one section at a time. Some of it's a little small, so I won't be able to read that maybe, but we'll go with this one first. It says email and instant messaging are the biggest multitasking culprits. It says people with email switch windows 37 times per hour. That is a huge distraction. The next is, it says multitasking saps productivity. It says stop multitasking. productivity drops 40% when you try to do more than one thing at once. Says employees switch tasks every 3 minutes. And it says the solution? Try to, I can't even read this. It's almost too small. Hold on. I'll get you the solution. Just maybe enlarge this window. Might work. Yeah, the solution says try this Pomodoro technique. Try the Pomodoro technique. It's Pomodoro technique. I'm going to write that down. I haven't heard of that. It says do one thing at a time. Anybody have any thoughts on multitasking? All right, this next section of the road to ultimate productivity says avoid distractions. Interruptions break your momentum. It says the biggest distractions are telephone calls, 31%, and informal meetings, which is 25%. It says 96 minutes of disruptions. There are 96 minutes of disruptions per day, 15 minutes to return to tasks after a disruption. So it takes 15 minutes to get back on track. It says solution number one is turn off everything that beeps, pops, buzzes, and vibrates. That's pretty huge because that's social media for the most part, right? We all know that distraction. It says take an email holiday and close the door to your office. So literally don't even look at email for the whole day, essentially, and literally just close the door so others can't interrupt you. So that is avoiding distractions. Any thoughts on that one? All right, the next section is called Stop Wasting Time. It says unproductive activities can waste hours. Online disruptors, social media is 14%, online shopping 12%. Offline disruptors are meetings 19%, coworkers 17%. It says 34%. More than a third of people routinely waste 30 minutes or less each day. Solution? It says block access to non-work sites during off hours. Next is say no to needless meetings, office politics, and your boss. Ooh, saying no to your boss. Has anyone done that? This last one might be a little hard to read, but I'll get most of it, if not all of it, hopefully. This one says, tame your email. It says, email takes up too much of people's time. Almost a quarter of the workday is spent checking email. 23% 23% of the time is spent checking email. 200 to 300 average is the average number of emails received daily by CEOs. It's insane. Here it says too much to do, long or looming deadlines. If you're feeling overworked but not getting anything done, science has the answer. Research has identified the least productive behaviors and the biggest distractions. So tame your email, stop multitasking, cut out the distractions, and stay off the social networks. And you'll be on the road to ultimate productivity. The solution to taming your email is try inbox zero. And the last one says hack your email. So there are software programs for that. Now I've heard of inbox zero. Maybe you guys have heard of that. I'm not so sure what it is, but it might be an app or something. I'm not sure. I might look it up while I'm waiting, especially if there's not a lot of activity going on here. That's all for this infographic. Any thoughts on work productivity? How to hack your work to be more productive? By the way, you guys can get all of this at facebook.com/Our Healing Choices. Shared the event for the program tonight, and there are these infographic pictures as part of the event.
What's going on? How's everybody doing?
All right, I came back, Andrew, so you're not alone.
Hey, welcome back. I was just talking about a calendar that's like the size of a desk. It's pretty cool. I gotta get one of those things. I really think that might be a good way to do that. It's kind of like a post-it note, but for your calendar items. It's about, I think, about 3 feet wide by 2 feet deep, and it's like the whole year. One sheet, 3 by 2 foot per year, 3 by 2 foot sheet per year. Pretty cool.
Never had one of those that covers your whole desk? I always got one when I was in college every year.
Yeah, I was just saying how I think it's just smarter to do that than try to work with these calendar apps on our phones that remind us, because they can't show us like all the time as we're sitting at our desk. They can't show us what's coming up on the calendar, so they have to pop up and do a reminder. And if you don't set that stuff up, you're lost when it comes to an appointment or something happening on a specific day. You better hope that your calendar setup is pretty dialed in on your app on your phone or on your computer. Otherwise, you're screwed. So I like it. I think it's a good idea. Pending you keep your desk pretty clean and you can see what's on the calendar, you're good to go.
Oh, you can't rely on the apps on the phone or the internet or nothing. You can't. Yeah, I usually get one, and I also have one hanging, and plus I also keep one of those calendars in my purse, like the pocket calendars.
So how do you keep them synchronized? Do you copy things from one to the other one at the end of the day or the end of the week or what?
The pocket calendar is basically where I put all my appointments when I'm at the doctors and stuff, and I usually add it on the big calendar. But the big calendar is usually for like big things, like different kind of work things or school things or you know real big appointments or birthdays. That's usually what I keep on the big calendar now. But when I was in college, I really that big calendar came in such handy. That was actually on one of the list of things they recommend.
Cool. I'm definitely thinking about getting it. I mean, at least something similar to that size. Maybe not quite that big, but big enough to where I can write in one of those little boxes for the day what needs to get done on a certain day, or an appointment for that day. Would be really cool, I think. I have a calendar app called what is it called? I think it's called Calendar Snooze. Um, I gotta double check. No, not Calendar Snooze. It is Calendar Status Pro. This one's pretty cool because the status bar on your phone, when you bring it down, it actually shows you today's to-do items in the different colors for different like types of calendar items. I don't know. You might have a calendar item for hobbies, calendar item for work, a calendar item for, I don't know, your charity or something like that. What goes down with that? Different colors. It'll show it different colors, and every time you pull down your status bar on your phone, it'll show on that menu all the stuff you have to do. So assuming you do that often on your phone, you'll see what you need to do often, kind of like the physical calendar on the desktop, you know, but not so showing of the whole month, just today and a little bit of tomorrow maybe. So I've got it kind of set up to show at least 12 items. So I get today, tomorrow, sometimes the following day, depending.
Oh, really? Oh, I have to get that name again that you said. I'm gonna have to download that. Can you get it on like the Play Store and stuff? Because that is really, really awesome.
Yeah, it's called Calendar Status Pro. It basically works off of your Google Calendar, I believe. So if you have Google Calendar set up on your phone in one of your accounts, it'll just pull from that. The other one I've got that seems to work pretty good is Calendar Snooze. It basically does each calendar item. It pops up and it gives me an option to snooze for like, I'll just give you an example. You can customize these 5 buttons. It says you can snooze it for, I have one for 15 minutes. I have it where you can snooze it for an hour. If you want to just kind of keep it front and center for through the day. I don't do it every hour. I'll do it for a couple hours until I've either done it or that's enough for the day. You can do it for an hour before it happens, because normally I've got mine set up for 3 hours before instead of at the actual time. And then for a certain amount of time, you can actually put that custom, and then you can do it snooze until a specific amount of, a specific time of the day. You can say snooze until, I don't know, 11 p.m. If it happened to be a morning alarm, but you want to be aware of it before you go to bed, you can have it snooze until a certain time. It's pretty cool, and then they're all customizable, the buttons. This one's called Calendar Snooze. That's another good one for in the App Store. This is Android. And then the default snooze button shows for 30 minutes. You can also dismiss the item, and it won't pop up anymore, just as you would, normally with the standard, app. I think the newer operating systems for these smartphones actually allow you to do snooze feature built in, but this one allows you to customize the different ways you can snooze it, which is really cool.
That sounds really, really cool. It sounds awesome. I'm gonna have to look up that. See, I've been thinking about looking for like calendar apps and stuff. That's really cool. So I never knew that. It's a good way of like being productive.
Yeah, if I only paid attention to it more. I guess I'm doing it. Like it pops up full screen. I've got it set up to pop up full screen, and so full screen you get to make a decision on whether you want to snooze it or not, and just dismiss it. So it's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, I feel like maybe I've got it dialed in, but I'm starting to think that the way we did things before with post-it notes for important things, and the larger calendars where we can actually write multiple things inside of each day of the week, of the month, I should say, is really seems to be more productive. So I'm thinking about getting one either at Office Depot or finding a really good one on Amazon. And I'll bet you anything, if I look up a large calendar, paper calendar on Amazon, I'll bet you anything I'll find that they're pretty highly rated because they work. That's my intuition speaking. I'm pretty sure I'm going to find that.
See, that's the thing I forget a lot. Like when I do my organization skills, I forget it. Like I'll still use the post-it notes on the refrigerator, but then I'll walk by. I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, pending you actually look at the post-it notes. Now I've got a post-it note on my desk that I don't necessarily look at that much. So it's got to be in a place kind of where you'll see it, and I don't know, like not with a bunch of other post-it notes, maybe, because it kind of gets lost in the shuffle that way. Okay, untrusted users, just so you know, only the moderators can hear anything you say. If you want to be trusted into the channel and be part of the conversation, just click on the logo for Ring of Fire on the upper left, read the rules, mic back up to one of the moderators here since we're the only ones that can hear you. Let us know that you're willing to abide by those rules, and go ahead and repeat a couple of those rules to me, and I'll be happy to let you in.
I think my Zillow is messing up. It's acting really dumb. Hang on.
Another productivity tool I think that would be good to try out is learn how to do folders on your phone screen, your desktop, I guess, whatever will be your main screen of your phone. Learn how to create folders. Most phones, I think, if you hold down on an empty space on your phone, it'll allow you to do more things. Like at the bottom, you've got usually wallpapers, widgets, home screen settings, but you can I can't really tell you exactly how to do it right now because I just forget. There's a workaround now with the new Android operating system, but yeah, look into doing folders, and then you can do basically a folder. I've literally got a folder. If you guys know the bottom menu on your phone when you turn it on, you can actually put a folder there. It's not limited to just those 5 icons or 4 things at the bottom. You can actually put a folder down there, and then you could put all the different apps that you always use in that folder. So you can basically, they're 2 clicks away instead of like swipe, 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 swipe. Oh, then there's your app, on the 4th page, or instead of having to fumble around your app folder to try to find it each time, you can just drag it from the app folder into that folder, and you're good to go. So that might help for those apps that you use all the time. There's also a pretty good agenda feature on some of these calendar apps. I've got one calendar app called, let me just double check. I think it's called Calendar Plus. Let me just double check on that. No, it's called A Calendar Plus. Letter A, then the word Calendar Plus, and that one has a pretty good agenda mode where you can scroll through and you just see like today agenda items, the items for today, and then you just keep scrolling. You'll see tomorrow. You keep scrolling, you see that the next day, and then it'll be, instead of today, tomorrow, it'll say the date usually, and it's pretty cool. Probably the best one I've used yet. Um, it has the different tasks color coded and stuff. So, or the calendar items color coded and stuff. So pretty cool stuff. How did Ian get untrusted? I don't understand that. Yeah, Shannon, it looks like Ian got his moderator star removed, and that put him in untrusted. Is that true? I don't know if that's true. If it works that way. I'm guessing he might have done something else. All right, guys, any other thoughts on productivity? Productivity hacks, things you do in your life that save you time and maybe even some money. Um, this is the time, this is the place to brag about what works for you in your life. Um, you have the mic when you are ready. All right, one of the last questions I have is, I have a few more. It looks like, what do we use to manage tasks and get things done? Does anyone have a method they use to create tasks, to write stuff down that you want to do? How do you do that? What's your method?
All right, Andrew, I was right from what I told you earlier.
Okay, so basically the fact that a moderator got their star removes, that basically forces someone to be in untrusted for 24 hours. That makes sense. You know, if they're supposed to be in there, someone's going to trust them back. Right?
He is supposed to be in there, according to Cheryl, as of today.
Yeah, not long ago, it's a 24-hour untrust.
All right, Navy guy. I guess I'll let Cheryl deal with that. Looks like Ian jumped ship anyway for now. So hope you're doing well, man. Hope all's good.
So that's a lot of. Do you do anything else productive, Andrew, besides the calendars and all that?
Well, I haven't quite perfected the daily routine, and that's one of the other possible topics, talking points for tonight would be creating a productive daily routine. So, like, the idea behind that is that either we have a daily routine that is unproductive and bringing us down in life, essentially, or we have a daily routine that's bringing us up. I try to stick to the daily routine of waking up in the morning and first thing thinking about stuff I'm grateful for, people I'm grateful for, things that have happened that I'm grateful for, anything, just gratitude for like at least 10 minutes. I try to focus on that first thing in the morning because 9 times out of 10, our mind, first thing in the morning when we wake up, it starts focusing on all the negative, right? So if you can nip that in the butt and just like, in the bud, whatever, it's just think of all the things you're grateful for, you will come up with stuff and the negativity will be gone, at least temporarily. So it's just about, coming up with what would be a healthy daily routine for you, and then writing it down and then getting it in your face. And that's the one thing that I haven't done enough is getting my daily routine written, number one, and in my face where I can read it every day, done. And so until that's done, I'm not going to get in the habit of doing that daily nourishing routine because it's not written fully, like it's not complete, and it's not where I can see it every day. So that's a tip. I'm glad you asked, that I need to do, just that gratitude thing. And at least I think the morning routine is the most important thing. Like what you do in the morning sets the tone for the rest of your day. And so I try to do a little bit of stretching and yoga when I first get up because that's like a good time. They also say do your most productive work that's essential for you in the morning. That means getting up an hour or two before you normally would on your work day and doing all the stuff that's important to you that has nothing to do with work. They say the best time to do that is in the morning. So since my schedule is pretty open, I just do that stuff when I get up pretty much. I don't have work. I don't have a traditional 9 to 5. So I go in, I start my work and I just schedule my own work from pretty much mid-afternoon till evening most days of the week. So yeah, and then the evening routine, like what do you do before you go to bed? You pull up a book and read for a bit. Do you eat late and binge eat late, which is typically unhealthy, or not? Do you have a kind of a routine where you don't eat after a certain time? Water is a really important thing in the morning. It's a great routine to get into, is to drink a lot of water when you first wake up because you're dehydrated. By the time you wake up in the morning, you are dehydrated. Unless you drink a ton of water, you're dehydrated. The night before you go to bed, but then you'd be up going to the bathroom all night potentially, right? So first thing in the morning, best thing to do, water. So everybody has their own routine, but I think the most important part is dialing it in. You know, getting the old bad routine part of your day, the old daily routine out, and getting the good, healthy, nourishing routine in. And literally taking the time, putting the brakes on to like create that routine. I'm not perfect. I've got it written. I just don't have it up where I need to see it every day, where it's very visual, where like I'm literally going to see it every time I wake up. So I'm going to move it, I think.
So basically, you're saying you got to get the bad routine in with the new routine, there's a new routine, and replace it. See, it's very hard. I think we're like creatures of habit, and to start like a better, productive routine it's hard sometimes. It's a lot of work and redoing things, and some people just want to be lazy, but in the long run, it's worth it.
Reality of it is we got to like really love ourselves enough to stop everything, take enough time to really create the daily routine that is nourishing to our life, you know. And again, each day is typically different, so your daily routine is usually going to be your morning routine and your evening routine. And I would stress more the morning routine, just because it sets the tone for the day. The evening routine, I've been trying myself to get into like planning my next day, other than work, the night before, you know, as in like an evening routine. But the reality of it is that by that time of the day, I'm like kind of tired, and I'm not focused as much. So part of me feels like I'm gonna have to incorporate my planning my day as literally the first thing I do when I wake up. Like I have a block of time that no one can interrupt me in the morning, preferably before everybody else might get up or call me or any of that, and just tune out, shut everything else off, and nothing can distract me for that particular amount of time to plan the day. Because like it's not working that well for me personally. Gotta be real. Doing it in the evening, it just doesn't work as well as I think it would in the morning.
Oh, I see. So it's the way you like organize your time and the way you, yeah. I think that's what it is. We got to love ourselves and be willing to make the change to make it yourself more productive or more organized. It's hard though. It's very hard.
Yeah, it's a matter of changing a routine and adapting to it. But it reflects back to a previous show where you were talking about adapting to change. You know, things in life that you change, and whether or not you want to adapt to it or not.
Well said, Grim. I forget the program where we talked about it, but um, yeah, it's really important. We get so caught up in the way things are going, it's hard to see a future that is different than what's happening right now, you know. But having a good vision of that and starting to take action to actually shift and change that technically can happen in a daily routine. You can get that that change can be an easier transition if you can start incorporating some of that change into your daily routine, which in reality, a daily routine is, what is that? That's a habit. You know, it's basically forming a new habit that supports the person that you want to be, you know. But you writing down that routine, that daily routine, is like your person you want to be, putting it into action. That's the writing of that daily routine. That's your future self, whatever it might be, kind of nudging you along.
Let's not forget you need the motivation.
Yeah, but having the motivation, you know, you need that to make yourself do that. I don't know. Motivation's hard to find, but as long as you can do it, I've done it.
I've talked about motivation a lot on this program, and one of the things that that I've learned in kind of like hacking motivation, so to speak, is that one of the best ways to be more motivated is to simply make progress. Like it could be a grain of sand of progress, but at least you can say you did something towards whatever it is you want it to change. So like, and then maybe tomorrow it'll be 2 grains of sand. And then maybe in a week it'll be like, I don't know, a pebble of change that you've made. And each time you make some form of progress. The key word is progress. If you make some form of progress, it actually gives you a boost. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you've accomplished something. So if you basically structure it so that you're getting a little done at a time, not trying to bite it all off at once, like do it all at once, that actually is itself motivation. And to tell you the truth, I've asked this question so many times, like, where do you get your motivation from? And I get like a silent, like it's like everybody just blanks out. It's like, I don't know, you know? And so the best answer I've found in a long time doing this program is simply progress. And I think it's great. It's just do something very small towards whatever you want to be done, to change, to whatever, you know, future you want to have happen. Just do something small, almost insignificant that you wrote down and you checked off. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that could even be towards a lifestyle, you know, pretty much anything that you want to work toward, as long as, you know, just like you're saying, not a significant change, but baby steps, a little at a time.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Baby steps is the way to take it, you know, especially if you're doing something negative and you want to change to make it positive. Sometimes you go back on that negative, but I think the baby steps would help. It helps it, even a lifestyle change, like better eating, everything. Could agree to all that.
It could pretty much work for everything. Like I'm thinking to myself right now, just what comes to mind is like, I want to eventually have a race bike. Not necessarily going to go really fast on it, but I want to have a race bike, and I kind of want to hang out with some of the people that own race bikes, you know? So what would be like a first step? Just baby steps, progress. That would be like maybe, oh, I don't know, printing out, finding a really cool picture like of the race bike that I want and printing that shit out, like getting it printed out and putting it on a, I don't know, maybe on my bathroom mirror. I mean, yeah, it can't hurt, right? Or somewhere where I'll see it every day, in front of my desk, on my monitor, or somewhere, you know, like in my car. Hey, I drive a car. Maybe, you know, I want to transition from driving a car most of the time to like riding a motorcycle once in a while. I'll put that picture, you know, cut it out maybe out of the printout, you know, and just make it cut out the smaller version of it, so to speak, and just like paste it on my dashboard or something. I don't know. It's just, like I said, just something towards where you want to go in any area of your life.
Absolutely. Post it on your refrigerator. I mean, you know, one only knows how many times they go in and out of the refrigerator.
That's a good idea. I need to post my trip to Vegas. I want to go to Vegas so bad, and that's one of the goals I'm working to. So I need to like cut out a big picture of like the strip.
There is an actual sign, believe it or not, called the Welcome to Vegas. Type in Google Welcome to Vegas or Welcome to Las Vegas. It's a really cool sign on the south, I believe it's the south end of the strip. Before anything really happens, it's just like, I don't know, it's pretty cool. So it was like old school, like the Vegas sign, and it's still there. And that picture would be pretty inspirational too, you know. But yeah, anything, and I would even suggest post it inside the refrigerator, you know, right next to where you would go for that milk or whatever, you know. I mean, the outside of the refrigerator, you know, and we pass by it sometimes, but we don't always look at it before we open the door. I don't know. I'm just saying, like anywhere you would literally see something way more than once a day.
Absolutely. And if it's a trip or something that you want to do in life, you can even put a graph or a chart, and keep an eye on how much money you're saving for it. And every day you can, keep moving up. For as much money as you save, you work toward a goal. It's a lifestyle. It's getting into a habit, just like you're saying.
That's really cool. I like that idea of like marking how much you've saved on like almost like a totem pole, with like the top of the totem pole being like your goal for how much money you want to have saved for that trip. Like maybe a picture at the top of the totem pole. I don't know, I've seen it as like a thermometer kind of thing, looking thing. And like maybe you could print something like that out and put the picture of what your goal is on the top of it, and just put like the amount that you need, like say for the trip or whatever, and then at the top, and then you can just kind of fill in however much you've made, and just keep rewriting how much you've saved, and check like every week or something. I don't know, something like that would be really cool.
Absolutely. Like for me, I'm going to Vegas next year, and I'm actually going to take most of my tax return to do it.
Nice. That's one of the best ways too, right? Sweet. I live close to you guys. I could almost join you up there when you go. We'll have a little like mini Ring of Fire reunion.
You live close to where are you located, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I live in LA, so I mean, when I say close, I mean relatively close. I mean, if you guys were like flying in from another state, technically I could drive or fly pretty easily as well, you know. I've gone up to Vegas many times in the past, and I have a cousin who lives up there. I usually stay with her. She's got a pretty big house, so I've had friends come with me, and we've stayed in the rooms. She's got a 4-bedroom house. I think it might be a 5. Anyway, cool beans. It's always a possibility.
Oh, no shit. Well, if you're somewhere near downtown LA, I'm about 120 miles south of downtown LA.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Yeah, you probably live close to Cheryl. She's down there in Orange County. So yeah, we can do another mini reunion. I've had one where we got 3 together. 3 of us got together. So we could do that one of these days.
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing?
It's pretty funny because between me, you, and Cheryl, it's a sandwich. She's in the middle.
Oh, you're south of her. Wow, you down like Costa Mesa or something?
Further south. I'm south of Oceanside.
There's a city down there that I really like by the beach. It's, I think, north of Oceanside, and it starts with a C. Damn, I forget the name, but it's really cool. It's just past Costa Mesa, and it's just by the beach. It's like an old beach town with a pier. Would love to live there. I just feel like it might be a little too high price wise. It's weird. It's ironic because I remember looking it up, and the homes that are higher up on the mountains overlooking the ocean actually cost more, and the beach the beach houses and stuff like that that are closer to the beach actually cost less, and you'd think they would cost at least the same.
I think you're talking about Carlsbad.
No, it wasn't Carlsbad. I could be wrong on the name, but it was, like I say, it's just south pretty much just south of Costa Mesa, maybe by about 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. I have no idea what you're talking about then. The only ones I could think about would be maybe San Clemente, Oceanside, Carlsbad, Costa Mesa.
Yeah, that's the one. It's not a C. It's San Clemente. Well, the second word was with the C. At least maybe that's what I was remembering. I don't know, but San Clemente sounds like a really cool place to live.
By the way, Danny keyed up and said hi. Hello, Danny. How are you?
San Clemente is like maybe 20 minutes south of LA, 20 to 30 minutes south.
Wait, did I hear Danny keyed up? I didn't even hear that. That's cool. I haven't talked to Danny in a long time. Danny D? Oh, that's Danny Ram. Blackout. Okay, cool. How you doing, Danny? How's your day going, brother?
So it's like a sandwich between me, Cheryl, and you. And she's stuck in the middle near Disneyland.
Yeah, I see a reunion in the future. Cool. All right. Well, I think we could probably wrap this one up. Thankfully, we don't have to vote on the next topic. I'm going to bring that up for you guys right now. We voted on it last week. It felt really good to kind of like get two topics out of the way in one vote. Basically, we just voted. A couple of them was like a tiebreaker for the most part, and then I'm like, why not? There's someone suggested it somehow. It was like, hey, can't we do one then the next one? Basically, that might have been you, Grim. Like, basically, can we do just whatever's on the top of the list and then the next one? And I'm like, all right, how about we just do that? So
Yeah, Andrew, that's how to hail broken hearts next week.
And thank you there, Shannon. I'm doing pretty good. And how you feeling now? How you doing? You sound pretty good. Hope everything's fine. What's up, Hope? Eagle? Yeah, I'm just chilling. I did keyed up and tried to say what's up, but y'all was in a deep conversation there. I say, well, nobody's answering. Let me sit back for a little bit. I've been listening in.
yeah, you got it, Shan. Thanks for that. And hi, hey, Danny. It's all good, man. Sorry about that. We were a little bit caught up there. Yeah, the next week we have how we heal our broken hearts. So that'll be a good one for everyone to share because we've all been through it. Let's see. So any final thoughts on what you guys do to be more productive? I think we've hit all the questions. Oh yeah, only one I hadn't asked was how do we track, manage, and accomplish our goals? Do we have written goals? How does that go down? That's a way to be productive, right? I mean, am I right? Like you kind of have to write your goals down to get to accomplish them, right? I would think. Anyway, so who has a method for doing that? I mean, do you keep it in a certain place? Do you put a date on it? Or do you say 2 years? Or, how does that go down for you?
Yeah, you ain't gotta apologize for that. I've been I'm relaxing at home, just sitting on the couch, actually, actually laying back, listening in. I've been listening since the beginning when y'all first keyed up. Y'all started talking about the calendars all the way through from the very beginning, and even before that. Yeah, I've been on for a while. I'm just relaxing and listening.
Yeah, I would say maybe a goal chart and maybe have a set aside account that you can't touch until it reaches a certain amount or a certain date or something.
And normally talk too much. Yeah, but it's just one of them days.
All good, Danny. I'm glad you made the choice to be here. It's all good, man. Appreciate that. Just everybody's presence here whether you key up or not. It's all that matters, you know. You all made a choice to be here. Whether you choose to speak is completely up to you. You know, I don't judge, and I mean, we all judge, but I know not to, or try not to judge. You know, people are where they're at. You know, it's all good. So, Grim, I was just curious. You said something about a goal chart. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? And then something about saving up to a certain amount before you can use the money. I don't know if that had to do with the same thing. Are those two different things?
Well, it's has to do with the same kind of thing. I mean, you're talking about achieving goals. Um, if it's a goal where you're trying to do a specific thing, and you have to save money for it, you know, you can kind of mark it down on a piece of paper or something. You know, this is what I'm going to be doing this day or whatever, and work toward it. You know, you can kind of calculate how much money you saved, and also have a um, what's called a set aside account, and have it set to where you can't touch it. You can't touch what's the contents of the account until you reach a certain amount, or you can't touch it until you get to a certain day.
I don't know about y'all, but I always have a notepad out. I always take notes. So I learned from you guys as much, if not more, than what you guys might learn from me. From just, you know, because half the stuff that I share is stuff that I just found on the internet. You know, I'm not always perfectly prepared, you know, for these programs and the topic at hand. And I always hope to learn more from you guys than I share, for sure. And so, you know, a lot of times that happens. So I appreciate that. This is a pretty good one. I like this goal chart. This setting aside or having an account where you can't access it. And I don't know, how do you set that up? I'm just curious if you've experienced that. You're talking about like an envelope that someone else holds for you, that you give them money to put in the envelope, and then basically the envelope says, you know, you know, you can't touch this until there's $500 in here or $1,000 in here, or on this date. You know, I wonder how that works for you, or if you've tried it before. It seems like it could work. Meaning, is it like a bank account you set up, or is it just simply like an envelope you set up?
Well, yeah. For example, Bluebird. Bluebird by American Express actually has it to where you can set up a set aside account, and I don't really have one made with them yet. I have a Bluebird account myself, but I don't have a set aside account, and I believe you can set stipulations on it to where you can't touch it for a certain period of time, or you can't touch it until you reach a certain amount of money, and you know that's put into it.
That's pretty cool. Sounds like a new way to use money. Very cool. I've always kind of in the back of my mind, I've always hoped that like these financial institutions would actually do something to help us like manage our money, as opposed to just being a storage place to park our money, that they would actually give us some tools to actually manage the money. And you know, it's been a long time waiting, and I don't even think my bank actually has that dialed in. Some banks do, but you know, I remember Chase. I think it was Chase that had something like someone mentioned that, and it sounds good that they're coming around and they're giving us more tools.
Yeah, my bank always had, still has it. They've been around forever. They have a Christmas club and a vacation fund where you put the money in, you can't touch it till a certain date.
Yeah, there's also things called a locked IRA, but I think IRAs are for like retirement or something.
Yeah, that's a different kind of set aside account altogether, I think. Um, cool, cool stuff. Anybody else have any thoughts on that, on how to manage your goals, and how's it working for you and stuff like that?
But see, I'm the kind of person, if I have money laying around, I'm going to spend it. So I have to put it somewhere and make sure I can't touch it.
Yeah, true that, right? It's always pretty difficult to not spend it if you have. Does anybody know any good goal setting apps? I think that would be kind of cool. I feel like I've tried some before, but they didn't work that well. I also tried a habit app. It's called Habit Tracker, and that actually didn't do work as well as I thought, or I wasn't working it as well as I thought I would. Um, Anybody have any thoughts on apps that they've used or tried for goals? I could try to get the name of the one that I tried, but that wouldn't help any, would it? No. Didn't work. Well, it didn't work for me. I want a goal setting app that works kind of like the 3 month, 3 months to live thing that we were doing, the project that we were doing. Basically, like you set a list, you call it your 3 month list, and it's in 3 months you want to achieve X, Y, Z, right, in your life. And that like every month it would remind you of your list, or you could set it for like every week it would remind you of your list, something like that, or even every day it would remind you of your list for 3 months out. It'd be kind of cool to have something like that.
Well, you can have your phone or your device calendar set to where it reminds you every day. You can set a certain day and have it remind you every day up until it gets to that goal, or up until it gets to that day.
Like it. Sorry, my phone's got a mindfulness bell that goes literally almost every hour, and it's always pretty loud, and that's cool. It just reminds me to focus. That would be a productivity hack, I guess. Is every hour you set an alarm that actually goes off and reminds you to check in with what you're doing. Is this what you really want to be doing with your time? Blah blah blah, something like that. Just a way to check in and focus on what's essential.
Yep, you could do that too.
That's cool. I didn't know that. Well, I mean, I guess I knew that you could set a reminder to go off every day before a specific day. I don't know if I've actually programmed it to do that. Um, yeah, I'll have to look into that. But yeah, if you, let's say you wanted to be reminded every day um, of something that you set to have happen in 3 months from now, you want it to remind you every day. I suppose you can set that up. I got to check that out. I feel like I've known that. I just never like done it that way before. So I don't know, kind of drawing a blank right now, but I think that would work for a goal, for any goal, or even just to.
Hey, Andrew, real quick again, what I was talking to Cheryl. What was the topic again for next week?
Let me bring that up real quick. That was how we heal our broken hearts. How we heal our broken hearts.
Well, if you're redneck, you use duct tape, a pack of Marlboros, and some chewing tobacco, and that'll heal your broken heart.
Nice, Jason. LOL. Good one. Thanks for sharing. Hope you're having a good day. All right, anybody have any final thoughts about productivity hacks? Basically what you do to make your life easier, to be more productive, before we wrap this one up?
In my case, where I work, if you do the same pattern and you don't add extra steps, you just kind of do what you've been doing, it works. Because I'm in production and I do a lot of the same thing, even though I have different models. So some steps would get skipped, but some you generally just still go through the same process. Get in the habit of doing the same thing. It gets quicker, saves time, less steps.
You mean like turning it into like a routine, basically? Yeah. We talked about that a little earlier before you showed up. I think is this idea of getting into a routine that works for you and saves time and whatnot. So, or that makes you think clearer. You know.
Yeah, the positive thing about doing something routine is you don't have to think about it. Like if you say you have something you're supposed to have to complete your task for the day, you'll know you don't have it before you even start. So, yeah, routine, patterns. I know they say, well, that makes life boring, but you don't have to keep your whole life like that. Just, kind of keep your work life and other things. Like if you want to come home and your routine is just to straighten up certain parts of your house every day, keep the routine. At least you know that it's getting done and it's getting done right.
I have to emphasize this whole idea of a routine, especially for someone who doesn't have a 9 to 5 and doesn't do the same thing every day, or relatively the same thing every day. I'm a non 9 to 5er, and until I really got into this whole idea of a routine of doing the same things generally every day, creating work shifts for myself as if I were doing a 9 to 5. Creating blocks of time for certain things that are important to me once a week or once a day, until I created a method, a routine, something that I do on a regular basis that I've dedicated time for. Until I started doing that, my life was, kind of all over the place. I have to admit, like it wasn't cool. So it's easy. It's nice to have a 9 to 5 because at least it's this, that during that time of the day, that's what you're doing. Otherwise, you really have to structure your life if you're not doing your typical 9 to 5. So if you're going to be an entrepreneur, listen to these words. Definitely, it matters.
Yeah, routines can make life a little dull, but you can always add stuff in to what you're doing, but don't take away from the routine because that is what will hone and sharpen and make the job easier. You know what I'm saying? So You know, I'm one of these guys who likes to do things other ways, but I've learned because I've worked in so many different fields where you have to develop a routine and kind of use it to make more money. Um, I got paid what they call flat rate on several jobs. So the faster, the more uniform, the more, uh, I guess, in line with a program and doing it the right way and constantly doing it that way. That was the way I made my money because I got faster and faster because I did the same routine so much that I'd get paid 3 hours for a job that only took me an hour because I stuck to the routine.
Would be the ultimate working smarter, not harder. Awesome. Good to hear, Jason.
Yeah, it is. It's working smarter. You know, when somebody gives you instructions on how to do something, especially if they've been doing it for years, you have to understand they've already hit all the bumps and hills and figured out all the bad stuff that you won't have to figure out. Now you may find out how to do something a little smarter and make your job easier, so you can apply that. But you know generally want to stay to the routine because they want things done. Like right now, I'm building compressors for Quincy Compressor Company, but I build for Mac Tools and about 5 other name brand compressors. It doesn't matter what compressor we stick on the tank. You still got to do the same things to that compressor to put it on there. So, you know, you just might be grabbing a motor and a pump that looks a little different, but they still have the same general parts. So you don't really, doesn't really mess your routine up. Maybe puts a couple of bumps in it, but it doesn't mess it up.
Yeah, I'd say final thought, not going to be too complicated, is form a healthy routine. Get that written down. Get it out of your head. The routine is like your way of changing your life and your future, and as well as being more productive. But it's the routine gets you into a mode where you're doing things that can support you being a better person just overall, not just productivity wise. It could be anything. You know, if you set aside time to just do certain things daily, and they're nourishing things, they're positive routine things, just slip them into a certain time of your day and just try to stay grounded in doing the same thing every day. That's like your grounding, especially in the mornings. And I think you'll see your life will improve. But to each his own, of course. That's what we've been talking about tonight. Everybody's different ways of doing it. So I'd like to thank you guys all for showing up. You made a choice to be here, and you didn't have to. And appreciate that. I love you guys. For doing that for yourself, doing that for others, for being here. So hope you join us next week. We are going to be talking about how we heal our broken hearts. Same bat time, same bat channel. And if you guys want to check out any past episodes of Our Healing Choices, you can go on YouTube and just type in Our Healing Choices. A playlist should come up. And I'll be adding this before next week's program. Usually I'll get it in, and sometimes even just the next day. My time block to work on it is actually tomorrow morning. It may not happen because I got some work I got to do for someone else, but just killing it. But what can you do, you know? But yeah, you can do that. You can check Ring of Fire on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Our Healing Choices. I'm sorry, facebook.com/Ring of Fire chat. And join the Our Healing Choices channel if you want an APB on the topic of the week, the hour before, or even more often than that. You can always jump on that channel. It's kind of open. So if you want to get a call alert of the program topic, just jump into that channel and add yourself Our Healing Choices on Zello. Anyway, thanks again, guys. I'm going to open it up to open topic. If you want to continue this, that's okay. The good thing is we don't have to jump into choosing a topic. Next week we will, though.